The rivalry between Messi and Ronaldo is slowly fading away, as both legends are at the end of their careers and can no longer compete at the top level. Watching them for over 15 years has been a great pleasure, and even for them, this rivalry has been a great motivating factor. Many fans of the world's most popular game only followed football matches because of Cristiano and Lionel. These guys are almost universally known and brought lots of fans to football. After they finished their careers, we would predict a considerable decline in the popularity of football. But there is a rivalry that has the potential to be even more exciting than that between the Portuguese and the Argentinian. We're talking about Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappé. Mbappé and Haaland are the replacements for Messi and Ronaldo. They're the present and the future. Two young footballers who are thrilling the football world. Even though their main careers are yet to be seen, we want to find out which of these guys is better. So, who is better, Kylian Mbappé or Erling Haaland? Don't forget to subscribe, like and leave a forward comment. Let's go! Similar to the video comparing Messi and Ronaldo, which you can see from the link in the description, we're going to choose the winner with the points that are given for the various aspects. Aspect 1. Club trophies. First of all, we'd like to point out that the age difference between the guys is 2 years, and it's not that significant, so we'll admit that factor and compare them on equal terms. Both players play for some of the best clubs in the world, and it's simply impossible to avoid trophies in conditions like that. But Haaland only moved to Manchester City in the 2022 summer transfer window, and he hasn't spent even a season yet. In this regard, he currently has no titles with the Citizens, but nevertheless he has some club awards. German Cup with Borussia and several titles with Salzburg. But it's almost nothing compared to Mbappé, as Kylian's track record is much more prestigious and extensive. The Frenchman has won Ligue for 5 times, the French League Cup twice, the French Cup 3 times, and the Super Cup twice. In this regard, the first point definitely goes to the PSG forward. Aspect 2. National team titles. When it comes to the national teams, they are two opposites. Mbappé was lucky enough to be born in France and to play for the currently best team in the world. To be fair enough, Mbappé is one of them who made it the best. Haaland represents a rather weak Norwegian national team, and therefore it'll not be easy for him to win trophies for his national team alone. Although there have been such cases in history. But in this aspect, as well as in the previous one, Kylian Mbappé has a definite advantage. After all, the Frenchman has already won such trophies as the World Cup, winning it at an age of 19. Also, he won the League of Nations and the silver medal at the 2022 World Cup. Moreover, Kylian is the under-19 Euro champion. At the same time, the Norwegian has no titles with the national team, therefore the point goes to Kylian Mbappé. Mbappé 2, Haaland 0. Aspect 3. Personal awards. If the heroes of our video keep playing at the same level, they could easily overtake Cristiano and Messi in terms of personal awards. After all, they already have quite a few. It would take a long time to list each of them, so we'll tell you about the main ones. Mbappé is only 24 years old and he's already the PSG all-time top scorer. At the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, the Frenchman was the tournament top scorer. In 2018, he became the best young player at the Mundial. In 2021, he was named Footballer of the Year by the Globe Soccer Awards. And that's just a small part. Just like we said earlier, it takes so long to list everything. Now let's take a look at Erling Haaland's awards. The Norwegian also has a lot of personal honours, but the main one is probably the award for top scorer in the Champions League season 2021. And it seems that he'll get this award again this season. Mbappé, on the other hand, does not have such an achievement, although he is also quite productive in the Champions League.
Since the start of last season in the Champions League, the combined goals of Messi and Ronaldo are 15, the combined goals of Haaland and Mbappé, 28.
Plus, he has other, no less prestigious personal trophies, which provides him with the right to win one more point. And so far, the Frenchman is confidently leading. Mbappé 3, Haaland 0. Aspect 4. Statistics. Both players are veritable goal-scoring machines. For example, most recently, Erling Haaland scored a penta-trick in a single Champions League game. Many players throughout their careers don't score as much as Haaland in just 90 minutes. But let's look at the career stats. Mbappé has now played 369 games, scored 264 goals and given 135 assists. As for Haaland, he has 229 matches, 187 goals and 43 assists so far. The Norwegian excels the Frenchman in terms of the ratio of goals scored to matches played, but Kylian Mbappé is the leader in terms of assists. In this regard, both players get a point. Mbappé 4, Haaland 1. Aspect 5. Personal skills. When it comes to football skills, Kylian Mbappé is clearly better. Indeed, the Frenchman's style of play is based on his brilliant ball handling, flawless dribbling, smart passes and skillful evasion of defence with no collisions. Of course, Mbappé also has incredible speed, but it is absolutely useless without his footballing skills. Haaland, on the other hand, is simply a machine with tremendous physical power. Erling's style is built on scoring with both feet and head, sharp movements and the ability to outplay defenders by great positioning. The Norwegian has been gifted with a wonderful physique since birth, and he strongly uses it throughout his football career. Even now, Haaland can rightly be described as an ideal forward.
I saw Erling for the first time when he was 5 when he joined indoor training with a group 1 year older. His first 2 touches led to goals. He was very, very good from the first moment, even though he hadn't played in the club before.
In some ways, the playing styles of these guys can be compared to Ronaldo and Messi styles. And yes, we certainly understand that these 4 players are completely different. But there is an analogy. Messi is great because of his football skills and incredible talent, while Cristiano's success is mostly due to his physical strength and work capacity. It's the same situation with Mbappé and Haaland. Mbappé is an incredible talent, and Haaland is a real physical icon. In this regard, both get a point. Mbappé 5, Haaland 2. Aspect 6. Behaviour on and off the pitch. This factor is important. In fact, decent behaviour greatly embellishes a footballer. Mbappé, despite his apparent good-naturedness, is not a simple guy. It's fair to say that the Frenchman has become arrogant, and he demonstrates this quite often. Despite his young age, he absolutely does not hesitate to argue with the referees on the football pitch, be over-emotional, and engage in confrontations with other players. Kylian is not always respectful towards other people either. For example, after losing the final of the 2022 World Cup, the president of France came over to comfort the forward, but the latter was dismissive of the gesture from the leader of his country. Yeah, he was undoubtedly disappointed, but nevertheless, that does not fully justify his behaviour. The same situation is outside the pitch. Mbappé has a certain arrogance, and it's not just displayed when he talks to the press. Moreover, you're all aware of the situation when Kylian was fooling Real Madrid. All this shows the Frenchman not to his advantage. Erling Haaland, on the other hand, is much more restrained than Mbappé. He's never been involved in any scandals, always respectful towards people on and off the pitch. In this regard, the point goes straight to Erling Haaland. Mbappé 5, Haaland 3. Aspect 7. Media popularity. These days, media exposure is one of the most important elements of sport because when there are recognition and hype, there are expensive advertising contracts and investments. Both player and club derive benefit from it. Mentions and follows in the media are significant. According to these parameters, Mbappé is surely superior to Haaland. At the moment, 101 million people have subscribed to the Frenchman's Instagram account, while Haaland has only 26, which is almost 4 times less. There are a lot more mentions in the media about Mbappé, despite the fact that Haaland is now amazingly performs for Manchester City. In this regard, the score goes to the Frenchman. Mbappé 6, Haaland 3. Aspect 8. Income. The income of both guys is huge. For example, Mbappé earns 72 million euros a year, only under a PSG contract. In addition, he has a multi-million-dollar contract with various brands and advertisers. Haaland's income, though large, is much lower than the PSG forwards. In Manchester City, he receives about 30 million euros a year, and he doesn't have as many advertising contracts as Mbappé. In this regard, Mbappé is the undisputed leader. Aspect 9. Projection. There's a lot to say about what the players have achieved so far, but let's not forget that Kylian Mbappé and Erling Haaland are currently playing in radically different leagues. To be objective, French Ligue is nothing compared to the Premier League. And when it comes to European competitions, where stronger teams compete, Haaland shows a much more solid game. While the Norwegian is gaining experience against some of the best teams in the world playing in the Premier League, Mbappe is wasting his talents, rarely playing against worthy teams. Also, the important thing is the motivation, which Haaland probably has more of. If we look at Kylian's career in recent years, we might get the impression that his main motivation is money. This might be his parents' influence, but nevertheless, too much time is spent on it. Haaland, on the other hand, is fully focused on football and has a better chance of becoming the best in the future. But again, things can change. As for now though, the Norwegian earns a point. Mbappe 7, Haaland 4. Here we've compared two of the biggest young stars on 9 different aspects. And as a result, it was Kylian Mbappé who emerged victorious by a wide margin. But anyway, the comparison between these two will not really be objective. The best comparison indicator would be 10 years from now, if they continue to play at the highest level, when their careers will be gradually fading. Now, they're still very young and already among the best. We can only hope to watch them play wonderfully for years to come.